Nerdrotic.com.
Welcome, travelers, to the fringes of reality, where the strange and mysterious meet, and the thin veil between fact and fiction is torn. Welcome to the Forbidden Frontier.
Look who's here! Papa Adam!
Hey, I'm back.
Look at him.
Adam.
You got a glow about you.
Yeah,
Do I?
It's that post-pregnancy glow.
Yeah, after 1 week of male maternity leave.
Did you have a pizza, right? Bedside.
Pizza? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's been great. It's been great. Yep. I'm a dad. It's surreal. That's the best way to put it, because like I look away from him and I'm like, life's the same, but then I turn and I have a son and I'm like, I have a son. That's my son. He's really here. That's him. And yeah, it's fantastic. It's
Happy
really
for you,
good.
Congrats.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you
Good
guys.
man.
And thanks for the
I'm
kind
glad he's
words that
happy
you,
and
you said last
healthy.
week. I tuned in and the next day and I heard the nice thing you guys said. That's very nice.
Yeah, don't
Thanks.
get used
Thank
to
you.
it. We'll get back to talking shit
No.
immediately.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. I was
of
going to
course.
say.
Missing an episode? Ugh.
I know.
loser.
Shame
You're
on
a
me.
baby.
Illuminati. Or
Yeah, you
no,
heard the
sorry.
conversation I call with Chrissy Mayer's like, I can't make it. I'm having a baby. Whatever. Stream it. Let's go.
Stream it.
Yeah, you're a
Yeah.
creator. You need to create content.
I know. It's true.
With your creation.
Yeah,
Yep. Zorbu. I named him Zorbu.
of course.
Oh my god, that
Father.
super chat last week that was like, congratulations on you and Zorbu's baby.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Wonderful.
Named him after his father.
Yep.
I give Chrissy crap, but I like props to Chrissy and Adam. Both Adam's back in a week. Chrissy was back lickety split after her pregnancy. Odin still missing shows for his kids.
Yeah. It's
And you didn't even have them.
like 8 years going on now. The kid is almost in
Odin.
college.
Well, it's bigger for Chrissy because I mean the girl goes through so much more than the guy. I mean, I just was like assisting.
Whatever.
Like I'm there.
I
It's
had to
difficult,
sleep in an
man.
extra hospital bed. I had
Oh
to
my
watch my
goodness.
wife get cut open. I didn't get any drugs at all.
Do you ever sleep
Okay.
on those the
And
hospital
my pizza
couches?
was 40 minutes late. Okay.
I did
Wow.
I did sleep on one of those things.
They're not
it was okay.
comfortable.
Rough.
2 nights.
It's
I got my
rough.
hospital bill.
Ah,
Guess how much it was?
wait a second. You're in freaking.
$20.
You're in commie land, so it was like $25.
It was $26. Damn.
Okay.
Insane.
Okay. So
Very
the
nice.
birth of your baby.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to tell you how much we paid for the birth of our baby.
Oh, no.
I want you
Oh,
to
no.
take
Yeah.
that number you just said.
Yeah.
Take that number you just said. Add 3 zeros.
Ooh.
Oh,
Woo.
serious?
Wow.
Oh my god.
Or 2 zeros.
Wow.
I don't
Is
know
that
my math.
normal? Every
26
baby?
$1,000.
26,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
That's in
wonder
Wild.
California.
Say
though,
kids are
so.
expensive.
After
Yeah.
that, it gets cheaper. Yep.
Does it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You
because
know?
you're just like, oh, we know how this goes. Like, I don't need a doctor. I'll do this myself.
Yeah.
I swear I could have done it. I was like,
Garrett's standing there
I'm
going,
expert.
Hut. Get the
Put
baby.
me in here. Put me in, coach. I was there before my wife every single time. I was like ready to go.
So we both owned businesses and we didn't have medical benefits at the time. This was this is 2005, $26,000 too.
So now adjust for
Oh, yeah,
inflation.
just
and,
that.
Oh my, Bidenomics. Wow.
Goodness,
I
don't even
just
think about
remind
that.
Logan
Poor
every day
thing.
how much money he owes us
You're in debt to me, boy.
forever. Oh man,
pretty. That's a predatory loan, though. I gotta say.
You need the interest.
Don't take it out before you were born.
Yeah.
What are you up to, Garrett?
Not much. Just made a video on Nerdrotic. If you haven't seen it, go watch it after this stream. It's about Rings of Power.
Yeah.
Got a little show called Rings of Power. It's freaking horrible.
It's horrible. We tried to make it funny though.
Yeah, we did. I think we did a pretty good job.
I think we did all right.
But that's about it.
Well done. Well done on the video, by the way.
Oh, you too. You too, sir.
Thank you. X-Ray Girl.
Space Marines has been the best thing that's happened to me in the last couple days. Great game, by the way. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this because I really do like these, like, those podcasts where it's a murder mystery. It kind of feels that way. Sometimes it ends up in a body. Sometimes it doesn't. I like a little mystery, but I do feel bad about the people who you just never know what happens, and it's the weirdest occurrences. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I tried to find something in Sweden. Like I wanted to find, missing 411.
He's done some stuff in Europe,
but I didn't find anything. But I did.
I would like for him to do a follow-up book in Europe or somewhere else, just to see, are there other locations that have similar crossovers in missing persons.
I want him on the show. We gotta get him on that. He's so freaking based.
Yeah.
And anyway.
He gets fired up too. He gets fired up.
He does.
And I like that. I appreciate
it.
Oh yeah.
We're trying. We're trying.
I'm gonna start trying too.
Oh, I can help you try if you would like. I got the deets.
Well. Yeah, his channel is Can-Am Missing Can-Am Missing Project. It's 411. It's Dave Polides, and he is an ex-cop from, I believe, San Jose, the Bay Area. He sounds like a Bay Area guy, or a guy who's spent a lot of time in the Bay Area. And Bigfoot investigator, kind of stumbled into this. I can't remember if he said if it was for a Bigfoot investigation or not, but basically how he stumbled into this was he was looking up a missing person, asked the Forestry Service, hey, do you have it? And I'm really this is really simplistic, by the way, off of memory. He goes to the Forest Service. I believe it's in California, but it's the National Forest Service. And he's looking up information on a missing person. And he finds out that they don't have a database at all, which is insane.
It's still
utterly insane. By the way, I don't believe that for a minute. I don't believe it for a minute.
Oh, well, a public.
As my wife pointed out, now this might have changed in Australia. Tell me if I'm wrong, Australians, but this was I'm going off of information a few years ago. Australia would say there are drownings when they were actually shark attacks. Like they'd call shark attacks drowning to keep the tourists coming. So it might be as simple as money. I don't know why, but there's no way they don't have a data. Well, maybe there is. Our government's pretty incompetent, but they didn't have one. And then when he did a request for freedom of information request, he'd be denied, and they wouldn't let him get certain information unless he's writing a book, all this crazy stuff. And he was just getting blocked everywhere for it, which made him more curious, which would make anybody more curious at this time. I could see the other side of that like this guy is exploiting missing people, but he's trying to bring it to, I think if you're bringing, especially since the investigation is over and people have completely given up and there's no answers, having a guy set light on it again, I think it depends on the family, and I'm That's guessing true. If it's the way he's talked is if the family doesn't want anything to do with it, he'll back off. Right.
That's fair.
But I'd say regardless of intentions, like it is good to put light back on a lot of these cases. Sometimes there are new information that pops up, or somebody finds out that technology that could solve the cases. It's great to have these stories kind of come back into light. These a lot of these stories are 50 years old, 60 years old. There's a lot more that are a lot older. I mean,
yeah, he goes back to when
decades,
Eisenhower was president.
Yeah.
He's got stories that go back to the 1600s.
Yes.
In certain and what he's looking for is patterns, right? And he's got these clusters, and he has cluster maps, and there's a lot of similarities. There's pockets of similarities, if that makes sense. So sometimes there's special needs kids
Boulders.
Was that
the Boulder Field?
Boulder fields, missing boots, missing pieces of clothing, finding the body miles away. Now, if it's an adult, and I'm going to talk about a couple adults here, it's a little more believable than 3-year-old kids. That Jared kid in the very first documentary.
I have a story about a 2-year-old.
Yeah, that kid climbed up a hill in a boulder field, a 3-year-old, and they found a skull cap, a tooth, and a shoe, and that was it. But that was a lot of time later. And his pants, they found his pants not near the body, like inside out, like somebody took them off before he was killed. So he was disrobed before he was killed. And then there's just complete disappearances. There's kids showing up again with fuzzy memory and they're still alive. There's kids like being on top of mountains, which you're probably going to cover.
Yes, yeah.
There's weird coincidences. There's a similarity with hunters. Basically, for the longest time, he would be when I first heard of him was Coast to Coast. And he's got a couple of famous like George Knapp interviews. George Knapp is worth listening to on Coast to Coast. He's Saturday nights. Not a big fan of Nuri, as you guys know. Hail Art Bell. But he would never, ever, for the longest time, I'm going back to 2015, 14, 15, when I started hearing about this guy. And he would tell the best stories, but he would never give you a theory, ever. He would just go, I'm just presenting to you what we know. You come up with the summation, right? And I think he was trying to stay away from the Bigfoot bugaboo thing, which I'm open to, by the way. But I understand that because he was trying to get the most ears possible on this.
Well, the book is written, if you read his first book, the stories are written just basic facts. It's not like
they are,
fanciful. It's not a bunch of like editorialized context and stuff. It's like just the facts, like name, date, lost, here, found, not found. Like it's very straightforward.
And it wasn't until very recently when Missing 411, the UFO connection came out, where he's like, okay, this is a possibility. And this is where he started kind of getting into possibilities because, and he goes through a process where it's not animals and, like these are just weird, like unexplained, bizarre disappearances. Like his most watched video is as a doctor who went missing in, I can't remember, I think it was Colorado. But this guy's like 39 years old in great health, had a GPS that was working, had a phone that was working, went out to snowboard, disappeared. They find him on a sheet of ice, right, that he fell down. But he's missing his shoes. He's missing his pants. He's got a helmet on. His jacket's in his backpack. And what else is in his backpack is a perfectly operational GPS and phone that he could have used. They were getting bars. Dave Polides goes there and says, we got bars. And he's 14.1 miles away from his trail. There's even a Reddit post from his either niece or nephew talking about like this is just too weird and they just shut us down. And that's just one example.
Wait, who's they?
The authorities, whatever local authorities that were there. So sheriff's department.
Okay. Yeah, they have a database.
FBI. Mm-hmm. There's a weird connection with some of these where the FBI gets involved sometimes before they were called. They just like show up and the FBI is already there working on the case. And you're like, why would they just come and join this search randomly? It's a weird connection too.
Sus.
No, these are creepy stories too. I don't get creeped out by much in this world, except for carnies. Hands smell like cabbage.
And the Dutch.
But they're good stories to listen to, and like it's really fucked up too, especially the one with the kids. Like they're really fucked up. Yeah. We all have picked stories. I don't know. Adam might have not had time because he's dad. Okay.
Yep, I got a cool story actually.
So we all picked some stories. I picked one that's 3 people, but there's a connection. So,
it's like a location.
A location.
Okay.
I don't want to. A location in Idaho. We'll just
like to go first.
Ladies
I feel
first.
like we're in
Go ahead,
school
Garrett.
right now.
Good.
Who's going? I said ladies first. Go ahead.
I just blocked out your voice. I'm sorry.
Like that.
Oh wow. Just like my wife.
Yes, my story is a story about a 2-year-old boy named Keith Parkins in 1952. It was in April. It was around the family had gone up to their family's ranch. Their mother's father had a ranch there, and they were going there for Easter. There was snow on the ground. In the morning of April 9th, Wednesday, kids, it's 3 boys, it was 6, 5, and 2. The 2 older boys took their younger brother out to the barn because there had just been a calf had just been born. They wanted to go look at it. So they were exploring the barn, and they were exploring the ranch. And around 12 o'clock, midday, the mother called in the boys, said, "Hey, come in, it's lunchtime," and only the 2 older boys came in. The mother asked them, where's Keith? And they said, "Oh, he went around the barn the long way." Okay. Went out to go look in the barn, he wasn't there. Looked around the barn, looked around the house, looked around the property, he was nowhere to be found. She immediately goes back inside, calls her husband Alan, says, I can't find Keith. They call the police. They get a search party going. It's friends, family, the local authorities in Ritter. This is in Oregon. They get about 200 people together, and they're not shambled. It's not running around looking for people. They're not super trained, but they knew what to do if somebody was missing. They stood far enough apart so they could speak to each other, but not too close. They started searching the area. They're going out a couple miles, nothing. And this is the countryside. This is rugged area outside of the farm. Again, there's snow everywhere. Hours pass. The search started about 2 o'clock. A few more hours pass. The sun starts to go down. The temperature starts to drop. They're traveling out 3 miles, 4 miles, and when they get around 4 miles in the northeastern direction from the house, they find children's footprints. And this is, again, rugged terrain in the middle of the countryside. Like, there's no reason why there should be kids' footprints here. They track these footprints for a few yards, maybe 20 yards, and then they disappear. They just stop. They lose the trail. I'll show you a picture of the area so you can kind of get an idea of what it looked like.
There was no other prints, though. It was just
no other prints. Just kids' footprints. And again, this is 1952. The kid's footprint is like a leather sole shoe, flat.
Yeah.
And this is about where it was, approximately 4 miles away.
Wow.
They found this in the middle of the night. So, this is into the AM. They find this. They continue the search. It's getting colder. The temperature drops below freezing. They're still out here. A wider and wider area of search. And they're worrying, at this point, they're worrying about finding a body now instead of their son. And around about 6 a.m. in the morning, one of the family friends, Charles Shue, was searching an abandoned wood, I guess where they were doing some wood cutting down some trees, and they find Keith's body, face down in the snow. He calls for Alan, which he happened to be 100 yards away. Alan ran over, scooped up his son, and he noted that his body was frozen solid. It felt completely stiff. Skin was pale white. Lips were completely blue. He picked him up, ran him 4 miles straight, all the way back to the ranch where they had a helicopter come in. They took Keith to the hospital, and Keith recovered. They were actually able to get signs of life from him. And wow. he woke up and asked for water. That was his first words. Now, when they asked him what happened, Keith didn't know. He's 2 years old. They can't really formulate a memory of what's going on. But he said a cat scratched him, and that was basically all he could really say. The question is, though, if you think about the location, I'll show you the location of where he was found. It is another 6 miles away from the footprints.
In the same direction?
No. Across
What?
over here. So about a 9-mile round trip.
They were his footprints, though? Did they confirm that?
That all it was in
How old was he?
in the report. He was 2 years old.
2 years
A 2-year-old covered about 9 miles in the span of 18 hours ish. Les Stroud, the Survivor Man. He during one of his I think he does like a Bigfoot show. He hiked this. He went from point A, the ranch, to point B, footprints, to C, and couldn't do it within the time frame because the terrain was too rugged, the area was too overgrown.
Wow, and that's the Survivor Man.
And that's the Survivor Man. He literally is. His job was to go from point A to point B.
Yeah.
In rugged areas. So he said he couldn't do it. I have a couple of theories, and I watched a great video on this. His name is the Ghost. What is his name here? I got notes on it. So I would encourage you to go watch it. The Ghost, the Moonlit Ghost did a vid on this, and he had a
Cool name.
good theory. He had a theory that he never went to the second location. A lot of people are saying, their theories are, did he get kidnapped and dropped at this last location? Was he taken by a cat of some sort, like a mountain lion or something? But he only had a few cuts on his shirt. His overalls were ripped, but that's about it. I feel like there would be more if there was a big cat would have taken him. His theory, and I kind of agree with it, is possibly he never went to the other location. Those footprints were maybe of some kind of animal that looked similar to it in the snow. Maybe in the middle of the night they were wanting to see his footprints.
This is the
possibly
50s, you said?
Yeah. It's the 50s,
Right.
52. Possibly he never even went to the first or the second location. He went straight to the third location, which is still about 4 to 5 miles. A 2-year-old traveling 4 to 5 miles on their own in the middle of rough terrain is still a stretch for me. Knowing, 2-year-olds. So even
I don't trust that
crazy.
family friend. The guy who found him. I don't trust that dude.
Charles.
Whoever found him.
Yeah.
You think
Major
so?
sus.
But that's I think that's like the most down to earth theory on why he was found where he was found. But even that, I think, is a wild scenario to think of a 2-year-old traveling the distance between these two locations, a family ranch and where he was found. It's a long way to go. But I'm interested to see what you guys think.
Wow.
And we'll tell you in just a second because I forgot to do the ad read before this. You can keep the music on though.
It is eerie.
Uh,
I like the
so
lighting,
wait.
Gary.
Wait, are you going to do the ad read now?
I have to.
Before-
'cause,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I should have. I like to do them early on so we can get to business, and then I forgot. So sorry, my bad.
Right at the theories. So think about your theories.
We'll be
Garrett's
back right after this message.
Okay.
Just like TV.
So here's the thing: they told you smoking wouldn't kill you, which was paid for by the tobacco corporations who made billions off your deteriorating lungs. How about that they said saturated fats are good for you? So the multinational food conglomerates, I can read, could print money while America got fat. Do you remember this one? Vaccines are safe and effective. We all know how Big Pharma profits off our sickness. So tell me this. When they tell you that 5G radiation from the devices won't hurt you or irradiate your balls, While the electronics and communication companies make trillions, do you believe them? Ask the bees that 5G towers are killing. Go to 5gfree.com/Nerdrotic and use code Nerdrotic to save 15% off your order, and check out the EMF badges for your phones that don't work. I think they meant to say and throw away the other things that don't work, whereas ours is the only ones that work. 5gfree.com, we have a range of unique products brought to you by Rumble with our lineup of proprietary supplements, device protectors, and radiation medical kits. 5gfree.com has you covered. Every purchase supports Rumble and the fight for free speech.
I think we should have the sound on every time.
You're protected when you're off in the woods, and they can ping your cell phone before Zorbu gets you.
You don't want that, trust me.
No, yeah, you don't.
Garrett knows.
So theories. So kid was going one direction, was 2 years old, had footprints, then goes another direction for miles. They find him still alive. He got scratched by a cat. How big of a cat? What kind of a cat? Like
That's the thing, is they asked him about these scratches, and he said that a cat scratched him, but that was all he had really.
Probably a regular cat. I feel like if it
that's
was
what
any sort of a predator cat,
it would have been more.
It would have been gone.
Yeah, it would have been way more damage.
Yeah, definitely. A 2-year-old by itself in the woods. Yeah.
Oh God.
I don't think so.
That's a lot of time.
Abducted. That is a long way to go in a long amount of time out in the elements. How was it? Like, was the weather good?
It's well, I said over the night, below freezing.
Okay,
it's
the weather
in April,
was not good. So
early
that's
April.
No.
Yeah,
That's
very bad weather.
Weather was not good, and he's still alive. Yeah, abducted.
Something happened.
I think abducted also. I think abducted.
Are there caves near here? I wonder.
Ooh, that's another one of those.
Well, didn't you put up that thing of does this match cave systems? There's a lot of caves here in Texas. There's a lot of caverns, a lot of caves.
Back to David Paulides, he actually did interview Keith. He's in his late 60s now, still around, still kicking it. They did an interview together. So if you want to watch that, you can look up that interview after the show. I wonder if it's on that channel you were talking about, Gary.
Can-Am Missing Projects. Yeah. I mean, he just sits at his house and he's done some videos, but he sits at his house and he spins some yarns. He tells some stories of the latest investigation. What do you got, X-Ray Girl?
1 second. Just pulling it up. Okay, so I have there's a man, Reverend Maurice Deitz, who is
I know this one.
Schoch. Yeah, he's a 84-year-old man at the time, and he was very interested in gems and minerals, and even was a member of the American Federation of Mineral Societies and Flatiron's Gem and Mineral Club. Okay,
rolls off
tongue. Very much so. So he is 84, so he is up there in age, and he actually has a blood disorder and arthritis, so he can't really move around very well. And he goes to go rock hunting with his friend named David McSherry all the time, and McSherry always has to help him get to places because it hurts to walk around, and where you find rocks is usually deep in the forest, dangerous areas. So one day in April 29th, 1981, they decide to go to the Pike National Forest in Colorado. Now, this forest is over 1 million acres, really big. And where they went, called Rampart Range Road near Devil's Head Lookout, it's down a 38.4 mile road that's unpaved. So it's pretty deep in the woods. Okay. So McSherry and Deitz go in. McSherry gets him settled in with his tools to go look for rocks. And then McSherry usually goes about no more than 50 yards away. So after a few hours, McSherry goes and tells Deitz, start cleaning up. We're going to go in a couple minutes. And so McSherry goes back to his area, collects his things, takes about 15 minutes to put all his stuff away. And then he comes back, no sign of Deitz. There's also no sign of his tools.
Yeah, his
So he
bag's
thinks-
gone.
Okay.
Yep. So he thinks, oh, he probably just went to the truck, goes to the truck. He's not there. He goes searching, can't find anything, nothing whatsoever, no signs of him. So yes,
What was the between the last time you saw him and when he was
15
missing?
minutes,
That's it. Okay.
according to McSherry. Little old Deitz, who can't
Right.
walk around very well, should be pretty easy to find.
Mhm.
So he goes and tells the sheriff at around 11 o'clock that night.
Did you
and they-
mention he was like 50 yards away from his part? Not even that.
Yeah.
So
very
even their
close.
distance. No.
They were
Yeah.
they were within shouting distance of each
Yeah.
other. Sorry, go on.
So no worries. So he tells the sheriff, Douglas County Sheriff, that night, and they send search and rescue, and they searched for 5 days. A pretty, using the grid method, pretty thorough, and they couldn't find any signs of him. The dogs even couldn't find a scent
That's
in
weird.
that area.
That's on the list. That's on the list.
That is
I'm
on the
getting
list.
shivers right now thinking of that. So yeah, no idea where he's been. He was declared dead about 9 years later in 1990. The possible thoughts that people put on the internet, maybe he wanted to self-delete. Maybe he wandered, got stuck somewhere,
Even
maybe
if he
hid in a cave.
Deleted though, they'd find him. They'd
Yeah.
absolutely
Should.
find him. So his wife wrote a long letter to the authorities, just stating her total dissatisfaction with what has to be reiterated again is this guy could not move fast. He needed help. He needed
Mhm.
assistance. There's no way
Right.
he could have gone very far
Right.
in that amount of time. And even if he fell down a crevasse, they would have gotten a scent. They would have found something. There was a massive search at the time.
His
the biggest
tools
search.
would have been there.
His
Yeah,
tools
you'd
would
find
have
his
been found.
tools.
Yeah.
If it was an
Exactly.
animal, you would see signs of
Something.
that.
The
You
only
would have-
sign
Blood.
of him being there was the areas that he picked with his pick. That was
Yeah.
the only sign of him
like
being
he
there.
stepped into a portal.
Like he stepped into a portal and
Maybe it's wild, and like I don't think it's self-deletion because he was of I forgot which faith, but he's a reverend, so they usually don't
Catholic.
partake in that, right?
Yeah.
And the other one that could have maybe even been that, someone's like, McSherry could have fabricated the story.
Oh,
and killed him. But they still like, okay. And they did have that's the only
and the
other
dogs?
thing. But why wouldn't the cops suspect that? Because the dogs would still find something. Now, it was hours before the first cop showed up for this. So he disappeared in the afternoon. First cop shows up at 7:30. First dogs show up at 11:30 that night. So there's hours. There's enough
Right.
time to get rid of a body, but I'm guessing the cops would have thought about that.
And the dogs.
Hopefully.
The dogs would have found. They would
Yeah.
have smelled them on him. They would have smelled.
I mean,
yeah, they would have found something.
Let's
Killer.
just have a thought about it, right? He loads the body up in his truck. It's an unpaved road in the middle of a 1,000,000-acre forest. He drives for an hour and a half and gets rid of the body. Drives an hour and a half back. Gets there right before a cop arrives. The dogs show up a couple hours later. Would they even be able to
If you're
follow
driving
that
off,
scent that way?
unless these are completely incompetent cops, you thought of it. I'm sure the cops would have thought of it and looked for tracks.
That's a good point. That's a good
I
point.
mean-
Driving off, you're leaving tracks.
He could have even just did the deed way beforehand,
And then
went
called him.
there, and then
That's a good
looked at
point.
Way even
evidence.
before.
But who knows?
But
Who
why would he
knows?
kill
Yep.
him? Unless, like, why? Did
That's
you-
the only like.
Just gotta
they have
be
a big
motive.
argument over
Possibility.
minerals.
Maybe.
You got
maybe.
my beautiful mineral rock.
Hey, the Ballad of Buster.
Did they find the
Scruggs.
Arkenstone?
Scruggs.
Remember?
Ballad
All right,
of
the
Buster
Scruggs,
Scruggs.
whatever. Where that guy found a huge vein of gold, and then someone followed him and tried to kill him. It's like, who knows, man? Maybe he found
Tom
That's
something.
the
Waits.
best one, by the
Tom
way.
Waits, yeah.
Yeah,
The Tom
that
Waits
was,
one was great.
yeah, that one.
That's a
That one
dark.
was really good.
It
Dark.
really is, dude. And I'm sure it happened all the time.
Oh god,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Liam Neeson one is the worst.
Oh yeah.
Oh dude.
Yeah.
Good movie though. Good movie.
Good
Right.
movie.
Yeah.
Good movie.
I didn't. It's crazy to think
Yeah.
that if his tools aren't there, no signs, no sense. Like if
Yeah.
it's not, of course, McSherry, then what could it have been? You mentioned portal, aliens. Who knows? 15
It reminds me of
minutes.
that hunter. Remember that hunter? There was a group of them, and they all lined up and walked out together
Yeah.
and sat down for like an hour. And the guy all the way at the end, just gone.
Just gone.
Right? That's kind of. I'm getting the same
Well,
kind of
that's,
vibes here.
that's also a commonality that police brings up is a lot of times it's somebody who falls behind.
Yeah.
And they just, and
Or is on the end. Or
people
goes
thought
ahead
I was
first.
just there's that kid I'm forgetting his name, the one from Idaho, the one that the first documentary is completely centered around. I forget his name, poor kid's name, but the kid was like right
he's like
behind
a
the
Boy
parents,
Scout.
then turned no it was a
Not the Boy
3-year-old.
Oh, I remember
Oh,
that.
okay, yes,
Yeah, at the
okay.
campsite in Idaho,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
just right behind the parents, turned around, walked back to the granddad. Granddad
Right.
looked down, looked up, gone
Boom.
forever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's it's people who fall behind, and or kids, and you're just gone. So that's another commonality.
I'm never gonna lose sight of my son in my forest.
Don't do it.
Iron grip.
I look out my window and there's a massive forest here. Like I'm on the edge, and I have a neighbor who says that he's witnessed UFO stuff in this forest.
You
Yeah.
need to look up into the
I got
missing
to talk
persons
to him
or
more
something
about that.
of
Oh
your
yeah, I
area.
got to talk to him about that. Yeah, it's interesting.
Forest I've ever walked into, and it's probably the animals, all right, but you just get a little feeling like you're always being watched.
Yeah,
Little feeling.
especially the
like you're being
older
watched.
forests.
The older
probably are,
places.
You know,
There's
the
some old ones in
untouched
California.
areas. Yeah.
When you are in the middle of, I mean, like Yosemite's like packed. There's like 1 million people in the valley in summer, but when you go up a little bit out of the valley, it's pretty empty. So it's weird. Adam, you get to go last. We'll let Daddy go last.
Oh, sure. Okay.
We'll let Papa.
I was all ready,
Adam
but
go last.
let's hear it.
Well, mine won't be super long. It's just this one's weird. This one's weird.
Let's get weird.
It's a cluster of disappearances in a general area in Idaho County, Idaho. It's a huge county with a sparse population. And the first disappearance is from October 5th, 1968, and it's Lowell Smith. Lowell Smith, former NFL player. And former cop. No, that's not he's not a former cop. That's the next one. Sorry. Former NFL player and an avid elk hunter. Elk hunter, by the way, commonalities with elk hunters.
Mhm.
And he goes up near Highline Lake. He's in the vicinity of Highline Lake, and he wants to do some hunting. And he disappears. He disappears. So they get to his campsite. His gun's still there. So he didn't go off to hunt something.
Right.
And
Oh man, actually, I thought you got missing for
not much is known about this one.
I got
Not
left
much
behind.
They searched for him for days. He was a well-known figure in Nevada because of his former NFL status and where he was from. He had some high position there. So the governor of Idaho had people searching for him for days and days. There's like one article you can find from the 29th, and which I can share with you. Right, I can share it actually. I can share it.
I believe in you.
I know you can. I know you do.
Oh, he did.
I did it. And this is about it on the poor guy. But remember, you see October 29th. This is just reporting that the search continues. He went missing on the 5th. Governor Paul Laxalt said today that he was informed by Don Samuelson, governor of Idaho, that the search for missing Hunter Lowell Smith Fernley is continuing. Smith was reported missing on a deer hunting trip in Idaho More than 3 weeks ago, Samuelson office advised Laxett that he's trained and experienced search personnel from the Idaho Fish and Game Department, State Police, Highway Department, local, and blah, blah, blah. They are looking, Laxett said, in a rugged area near Grangeville where Smith reportedly disappeared in heavy snowstorm. The most important thing about this is the date. 10/5/68. Our next case does not happen on 10/5/68, but it's really close. And it's a lot more recent. Retired police captain Ronald Gray, I'll share this one, is in the same area, roughly the same area. These are all from Missing 411, by the way. These are just the articles. He is a retired police officer, experienced hunter, went there to hunt some elk. And he disappeared as well. Never found his gun.
He looks like a police captain.
This guy was a badass. This guy was a complete badass. And he was retired from Massachusetts to the point where Massachusetts went out and aided in the search.
Oh, wow.
The only thing they found was near Highline Lake. They found a little fanny pack with some stuff, but that's it. That's it. He had radioed in. He had I forgot what the name of it is, but it's somebody. It's like a handler. Hunters. I'm not a hunter, so if I'm getting the terminology wrong, I'm sorry. But that person went out there and stashed supplies for him because he's alone, right? So if he gets lost, he knows where the stashed supplies are, and it's probably for hunting or whatever they do there. So he had some kind of handler, and he radioed in, said, "Hey, I hurt my knee, but I'm fine. I'm walking a mile and a half back to camp." Then he says, "I'm going to stay for a couple more days and hunt," which isn't unusual. Never saw him again. Never found his gun. This one happened on in September. I believe it was September 19th, 2008. Pretty close to October 5th, but not October 5th. Never found. Okay, neither person, no bodies, nothing ever found. Nothing. Just disappeared off the face of the earth. Experienced hunters.
The first guy they found his gun.
First guy they found his gun. No, okay. They found nothing. This guy had his gun with him, and they never recovered it.
Okay.
They have been unconfirmed reports of a radio transmission from Mr. Gray, which he had an injured knee, and he was trying to get back to camp, but doesn't appear to ever been ever returned. The date of the transmission is not clear. There is no cellular service in the area, but Mr. Gray may have had more than one GPS with him. Yes, he did. He was an experienced hunter. Missing in that vicinity within
mile and a half, right? You said he was walking back a mile and a half.
Yeah, but he's also within. I'm gonna guesstimate on this. Dave Paulides has it correctly in his video, but it's within 20 miles of the other disappearance from years earlier. Okay, within 20 miles of that disappearance. Our third one. This is where shit gets weird. This is where shit starts really getting weird. Our third one is the very strange disappearance of Connie Johnson from Big Fog Mountain, which is in this vicinity. I do believe it's within 40 miles of the furthest person who's missing from this, because there's going to be 4. There's going to be 4. Let me share this. Why is my mouse not working?
What year was that last one?
2008.
2005? 2008. Okay.
2008. This one's from 2018, October 3rd. Oh, sorry. Yes, it's October 3rd. So this one's October 3rd. The strange disappearance of Connie Johnson from Big Fog Mountain. Connie Marie Johnson disappeared October 3rd, 2018, Big Fog Mountain. In early 2018, Connie Johnson, 76, worked as a camp cook for Ritchie Outfitters based in Salmon, Idaho, and around Big Fog Mountain near Big Rock and Grangeville, Idaho. Is that, you recognize that? That's from the first person who's missing. The area was very remote with no roads and only accessible by horse on foot. She was last seen on October 2nd, 2018, when hunters left the camp. According to County Sheriff Doug Giddings, the next day, the hunters had radio contact with Connie, but they could not understand what she was saying on her radio transmission because the radio transmission was weak. When they returned to camp on the 5th, Connie and her dog Ace were gone. October 5th, 2018.
So it was October 5th was the last time that they actually
when they went back,
communicated with her.
It was October 2nd, and when they went back the 5th, she was gone, and she went everywhere with her dog Ace. So
sometime between
3rd and 5th. So we're getting a vicinity of time.
I see.
Vicinity of time. Right.
All right.
And she 5'7", 140 pounds. She had a lot of experience hiking and everything. Did it for half her life. Was a cook. She was in retirement doing this, and again, she didn't go anywhere without her dog. The search. A large search with searchers on foot and tracking canines were quickly deployed. It involved aircraft deploying FLIR heat technology from the U.S. Air Force and the Idaho National Guard and the Clearwater County Backcountry Helicopter Rescue Team. However, no trace of Connie was found, and the search ended on October 16, 2018. 3 weeks later, the dog Ace turned up at the Moose Creek Ranger Station around 15 miles from camp, but without Connie. The dog was examined, fed, and then taken out to search for its owner to no avail.
Wow.
The dog came back pretty healthy, by the way. 3 weeks later.
Wow.
3 weeks later. Connie had good experience in the outdoors and was well equipped for survival. She did fall ill. Did she fall ill or have an accident? Did something else happen? We're not sure. So they officially went to look for her on the 5th, couldn't find her. I mean, she could have disappeared on the 5th. We don't know because the last communication was a garbled radio communication from the 2nd.
A dog would leave. Like if she never went anywhere with that dog, that means
the dog wouldn't leave unless she was
she
gone.
passed away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, even
if
she passed away, like I don't know, like her
there's
being
a lot of
gone
stories
makes
of
more
the
sense.
dog staying. Yeah, gone makes
Gone.
You know,
And
well, it's
for
like
the dog to know
if
where to go to dogs are awesome.
and she would have followed the dog back. If the dog, you know, I don't know. It just feels like she was experienced. She had her dog, who obviously, if she's experienced, this dog being at her hip, he knows whatever the dog knows. The forests. That's weird.
Well, in the same vicinity, within, 20, 30 miles, maybe even less. Some of these are closer. I'm just guessing right now. On the same day, October 5th, Terrence Woods disappears.
In 2018.
In
Same
2018.
year?
The same day.
Stop this.
Same day,
October 5th. He is part of a filming crew. So he's part of a filming crew. They were there to do a documentary on the Penman Mine for Whitewater, a British TV show. He worked on The Voice. He worked on The Voice in the UK. By coincidence, Terrence Woods, 27, was reported missing in mysterious circumstances around 5:30 p.m. on the same day in the Orgrand area of Idaho. Sorry if I mispronounced that. He was a production assistant for Maryland, helping film a documentary on the Penman Mine for Whitewater, a British TV show. At some point, he ran off. So there were witnesses, by the way, who stated that he looked at his radio, dropped it, and booked into the woods down a hill.
What do you mean looked at his radio? Like
he looked at his radio. Well, I don't know,
like
I wasn't there.
Like a walkie-talkie, like a radio kind of.
Yeah, like a radio. Like he looked at it, dropped it, and booked.
So he heard something on the radio, obviously, that freaked him out.
At some point, he ran off into the woods for some reason and had never been found. Terrence's father said the production crew, thought he fell off a cliff, but by the time he got over there, my son was 15 feet down the cliff, running like a hare. So I said, what do you mean running like a hare? And he said, it ran so fast. I never seen anybody run that fast. You can't get lost out there, because if you get lost, you're going to run into a road or houses. So he didn't just poof, vanish, or disappear, or did he? No, he made it to the road. Someone picked him up.
That's the dad saying that?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the dad saying that.
Okay.
Despite an extensive search, no leads were obtained from the previous 7 days or search, and no signs of Terrence were ever located in the search area or the expanded area. Same day. They would have probably found him by now.
Yeah.
That would be my guess, but it's awfully weird that somebody saw something, heard something, panicked, and ran.
Yeah, that's weird. That they witnessed some sort of mental change, right? Something caused him to sprint off. Like when you're on a production, right? Your mind is, I'm working, I'm doing this stuff. You know, you're on location, you're handling things. I don't know what exactly his job was for the production team, but you're working. You know, you take time to enjoy the sights if you can, but when you're in these kind of locations, you're just getting the job done.
Yeah.
Right. So for him to forego every single thing by looking, that's an interesting thing, that we have witnesses seeing the disappearance, if you will. Right. Because really that was the last moment that something changed, that he sprinted off. That's odd. Yeah.
And he was running down a sheer hill, like a very steep hill.
Yeah.
15 feet. That's a pretty big drop.
Dave Liddy's has a map. I'm trying to bring up that we can pause. There we go. Right there.
Was he from the area? Did it say? I don't think.
No, he's from the UK, right? Is that you said?
I would assume, right? Unless he was a hired gun or something. So if he's not from the area, he has no idea where he's even running to.
Not a clue. No, he's from the UK.
Oh, maybe it was just
Strange.
maybe it was just fentanyl in his drugs.
Sure. Well, it wasn't that long ago.
2018.
So the furthest away one of these disappearances is 40 miles.
Are these all 4 of the different disappearances?
So there's Smith right there. Okay, so on the far left below his thumb is Smith.
Okay.
Johnson's on the top. Gray is to the right. So Connie Johnson is a straight line.
The one that happened on the same day.
To her dog, that's where the dog was found. Okay.
Oh, the dog was found there. Okay.
And Wood is the furthest south. But they're all really kind of close to each other, and it's all around kind of the same time.
Well, I'm looking at the dates. So we got October 5th in 68. Then you have in September. What was the September? What?
September 18th, 19th.
So
September
later on in
late,
September.
Yeah.
So a 2-3 week span, but that's also in 2008. So ending in 8, and then October 3rd to the 5th, and then again on the 5th of 2018. So all dates that end in years that end in 8, all within a span of 3 weeks, mid-September to beginning of October, and all in this area. Odd.
Really crazy.
With no explanation.
Yeah.
By the way, I just want to shout out Can-Am Missing Project. That's where I'm watching this video on. Give them a subscribe, please. That's Dave Politti's channel. There's lots of really interesting. I don't want it's good, but it's like real people missing.
Yeah.
Right. It's real people missing. These are real stories, and it's really fucking bizarre. Some of the stuff like that one's, but that's not the only one. There's the one in the documentary, in the UFO doc, or is it the Hunter documentary? Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. One of the two, where they cover 3 people who were missing within 10 miles of each other. Over a
I think it was the Hunter. I think it was the Hunter one.
Pretty sure it was the Hunter one too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I cannot recommend his documentaries enough. There's 411, Missing 411, Missing 411 Hunters, Missing 411, the UFO Connection. I think they're all free on Tubi and Pluto TV. You just got to watch commercials.
This is in the Clearwater National Park area vicinity.
Yep.
And follow him on X too. He's very
based.
Page
Follow him on X.
there.
He's very based.
Yeah.
Are there caves in Idaho? I think there's probably a few.
There's caves everywhere.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. There's caves everywhere.
If you think like, does it line up with like bears or some other kind of mountain lion? You would find some traces of a person or a scuffle or something, right?
You would find you'd find bones, teeth, flesh,
clothes or something. Like that's just to vanish like that.
Yeah, there's that deer that got hit by a car and launched, because sometimes I walk to the gym, right? So there's some country where I live, and it's light, but it's there. And the deer got hit and launched off the side of the road 20 yards in. Like, it got launched. I don't know what the fuck hit it, but it was
probably
going
big
fast.
Ass truck.
Yeah. And I noticed it because there was like 16 turkey vultures, and you just don't miss those things. They're dinosaurs.
Right.
Yeah, they are.
Pecking away on that thing for a few days. Bones are still there. Are still there.
So there'd be evidence. You'd see
there's
Karen
still bones,
in the air.
Right? Well, and like dogs searched the area. By the way, all these dogs searched. They used FLIR. They used everything. They went all out, and they found nothing. No sign of a scent. Nothing.
How do you wipe a scent away?
In the woods, you don't.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
You can't.
You
Dogs can smell like 6 feet underground.
As Dave Bloody said.
Their noses are nuts.
When you're, especially here in America, like if you're in Europe, it's a big fucking country, and there's lots of just wide open spaces with nobody, and you can get a lot of Japanese tourists are finding this out. You can get eaten by a bear pretty easily if you go in the wrong place. Always carry a gun. Always carry a gun when you're on a trail, anywhere. Always carry a gun for wild animals or humans in this country.
Yeah, sometimes bear spray ain't good enough.
Nope.
Ain't good enough.
Well, you better have a pretty good gun to get a bear too.
Yeah,
that might just anger them more.
Especially if it's a mama.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep. So what do you got, Adam?
All right, I've got some photos that I'm sharing. So it's going to be a little, and shout out to David, because he is the one who I got this from, one of his videos. It actually wasn't on his site. It was from it was some sort of presentation that he was doing that I found. But this is the story of Carl Landers. Carl Landers was a marathon runner. This guy was super in shape, very peak condition. This guy has been hiking all sorts of different places, but this takes place in Mount Shasta. I think these are actually AI generated, which is kind of cool. But this happened May 25th in 1999. He is seen here. Well, these aren't real images, but essentially just for the story, with his two friends, Barry Gilmore and Milton Gaines. They were hiking up Mount Shasta, up to the peak, which is about 14,000 feet. They were about 12,000 feet when they decided to camp for the night. And when they were getting ready in the morning, Carl, being the avid hiker, he was ready to go before his friends were ready, said, "I'm going to start going first." And they were like, "Yeah, no worries. We're only 15 minutes from being done. We'll catch up to you in no time." In about 600 feet from where they were, there was a ranger station where you check in to continue up to the summit, because they were, just 2,000 feet away from the summit. So they were getting ready to summit that day. Well, his two friends, they got ready and packed up. Not even 15 minutes, 15 minutes go by, and they make their way around on this path. Now, they make it very clear many times that there is only one path. This is a very, very well-worn path. It's Mount Shasta. It's one of the more well-known mountains in America. And this is a very strong, avid marathon runner, like really healthy guy. And they reach the ranger station and they ask him, like, "Hey, have you seen Carl?" And the ranger's like, no, there's only one person that's gone up so far, and it's not this Carl Landers. And they found that very odd. And
you said 600 feet.
600
feet between their camp and that ranger station.
Correct, 600 feet. So very, very close. So they continue up to the summit, nothing. And they just start looking. They start the whole process of trying to find it. They brought in 8 expert hikers and they dropped them off with a helicopter at the summit and went down in every direction from the top of Mount Shasta looking for this guy. And they couldn't find anything. And they continued and they brought in, what is it, infrared, or when heat-seeking cameras, you know, they were thermal imaging. They were bringing like thermal images and like trying to just scoping the entire zone. They were doing the whole thing, and they couldn't find anything. They just completely gone, all the stuff. And again, this was a very well-worn path. There's no way that he could have just accidentally taken a different path, and it was only 600 feet to the ranger station. So they couldn't figure out. They didn't understand why. And there's a theory that I found very interesting, and it's something called the Lemurians. And they are supposedly ancient beings that live under Mount Shasta. And this is an AI-generated image of them. They're blue-skinned. And I found an article, actually, that is kind of interesting. Let me read it.
In the
movie,
read it to you
guys.
The Time Machine.
Yeah?
They lived underground. They kind of look just like that.
Check this out. There's something about Mount Shasta. There's a well-known legend that says that somewhere deep beneath Northern California's 14,179-foot-tall Mount Shasta is a complex of tunnels and a hidden city called Telos, the ancient city of light for the Lemurians. And they were the residents of the mythical lost continent of Lemuria, which met its demise under the waves of the Pacific or the Indian Ocean, depending on who you ask, thousands of years ago. I have to bring up Randall Carlson's whole theory.
Yeah.
Scablands, Mount Shasta, you know, or Ben Davidson's the whole micronova and the Earth shifting with the Pacific Ocean rushing over and then coming back. Both could have formed what the Scablands have become. Anyway, the Lemurians believed to have survived the catastrophe and are said to have settled in Telos, and over the years, their offspring have been sporadically reported wandering around the area, 7 feet tall, with long, flowy hair, often clad in sandals and white robes. So there's this idea, and man, I'm so bummed that I didn't save the image, because I think X-Ray mentioned it. There's this overlay of where caves are and where the missing people go missing.
Oh, I have something.
Do you have it? Can you share that?
It's not the overlay, but it's a side-by-side comparison.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
That works.
So there are so many caves. It's crazy to think about. But in Mount Shasta, I also found that there are lava tubes. There's these things that, I mean...
So if he fell in one of those...
What if he fell in? Yeah. Granted, it's Mount Shasta. This guy's definitely... He knows what he's doing. It's a very solid path. It's only 600 feet from where his camp was to this ranger station. So it doesn't make sense that he would have just decided to go off trail for no reason without telling his friends or getting to the ranger station first to like check in and let somebody know, right? If you're going with your two buddies, you'd think that you would do that. So I don't know. I stumbled upon this and I was like, this is really cool. This goes actually pretty deep. It's a pretty long article, but
it's so cool that you found a story that was in the Missing 411 that's connects back to like the Atlantis mythology and the
right.
Like it's like the same.
That's pretty cool.
Same story.
I know. I was
cool.
I was reading this and I'm like, there's no way. Like this is amazing.
What?
This to all the other stuff
Yeah.
that we've talked about in this channel. Like that would be imagine if there is a civilization under Mount Shasta.
That'd be
that
wild.
survived.
There's
Cool.
Mount Shasta is so weird. There's a place, I think it was Greer who was doing this.
Mhm.
Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. One of the UFO guys, pretty sure it was Greer, was doing a camping thing every year where they would camp and just watch UFOs go around. Weird stuff has always been reported around Mount Shasta, and there's lots of good video.
And you know what? And I have to also add that David mentions he doesn't go into more details about this, but at the end of the presentation of this Carl Landers segment, he says, and Mount Shasta is known for missing 401. Lots of people have gone missing. And I was like, I don't have time for this. Like, you know, because we decided we were going to do this.
Y-Files did a story on it. That's been
on Mount Shasta.
Yeah, but there's
Mount
a lot
Shasta.
of other stuff that's really bizarre about
Cool.
Mount Shasta. I've been to Mount Shasta
Cool.
a couple times. Yeah,
Yo, I found
Nice.
this book on Amazon.
it's beautiful.
It's an original hardcover. It's $100. Myria, the Lost Continent of the Pacific,
Is it by-
1931.
I was gonna say, is it by Mana?
It's a beautiful looking book.
Yeah.
Blavatsky? But
CER?
it's not. It's by W.A. I love getting those first
Curve.
prints. I'm not gonna buy it off Amazon.
Was that 1931?
1931. Yeah.
Oh wow,
Let's go on eBay.
That's
Let's
a
record
cool-
it.
that's pretty rad.
I got Jacques Vallée's first print. I didn't get the first print, but Donnelly's work on Atlantis, you can get that on eBay. It's not on Amazon, and it's pretty cheap. There's also an audiobook. That's a lot of the stuff that Randall uses too. Let me see. What
This
is
was
that?
almost $500.
Wow.
Jesus.
Too.
Oh my God.
The Lost
Mystery
Continent
Oceans.
of Pacific. Let's go.
Like I'm
Remember when we talked about the underwater civilizations and how there was potentially like a trade-off? Like, hey, you can come live with us and we'll give you, bring you back up in 30 years, but we'll set you up or like whatever. There was like a actual give and take. Like, what if that's going on?
Garrett,
in
go on
Shasta?
eBay.
You
Go
know?
on eBay.
Oh, they got it
if
on
they
eBay?
disappeared and they didn't, leave any trace, they're fine. But something bad happened if like they get found again or
Yeah.
whatever.
Garrett,
Like-
they're cheaper on eBay, by the way.
We'll let you go back with and we'll wipe your memory though. You're not going to remember meeting us, but you could just choose to come with us and we'll extend your life. We have ways to extend your life. You'll live at this age for 30 more years, and we'll teach you things. You can live with us. We just want to learn from you. Like, what if that's true? I mean, obviously it's a crazy thought, but who knows?
Wow.
I love it.
Yeah. So this is the map that we were talking about.
Oh yeah.
Of the cave
so-
systems. Okay.
Yeah. So above here is where people have gone missing, and then these are, according to the legend,
Oddly
limestone and
similar.
rock
Oddly
Oddly.
similar. Yeah.
Eerily,
Look at Texas.
coincidentally.
Yeah, the one in Texas is like the exact same pattern.
Oh yeah. Even the line going up the center,
Mm.
it's kind of, you can kind of see that.
Well, we have
Oddly, nothing in the
caverns here.
like the west.
We have caverns here all the way up, like
Oh, yeah.
traveling up to. We got to go to that town. It's in Waco, right? Where they have the mammoths on display, the mammoth bones and stuff.
We need to do a lot of stuff in Texas. There's
We do.
Robert E.
Texas is
Howard
so big.
Museum.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
I want to make a video there. We should do that.
we should.
But yeah, wild.
Wild.
I want to
They
see
say on the internet.
if he ever does Europe, Canada, even Asia. I'm sure if we go to Africa, there might be
Yeah.
something, and correlate that to see if there's any
Japan.
similarities. Like, who knows? But it's, as he said, there's no database for it that we know of that we can access.
Right.
But
Nope.
I
if there's
saw
a
someone
link,
someone
yeah.
tagged all of us earlier also in a very similar, trying to find it real quick so I could show you guys. It's basically the same thing, but instead of caves, it's UFOs sightings. You know what I'm talking about, Garrett? Did you see that one? Yeah, thank you. I could stop looking.
Whoa.
Yeah, look at that. The amount of guns. Oh, that's what it was.
I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
But think about that. The more guns, the less are seen. Do they not want to be shot? Or what do they know?
Funny.
I forgot what it was, but that's pretty funny.
Lou Alzondo's been making the rounds. Controversial figure.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's got a book out.
He's got his book out.
And,
I've been listening to it actually.
Oh yeah.
And it's very good. It gives a little backstory on, you know, where he came from through the government. And I'm at, I think, chapter 2 or 3 where they start talking about Colaris, and I want to find more information on that area. And if anyone ever did interviews, I want to see those, because the stuff they were talking about that the UFOs did to people, it's wild.
Well, it's okay. So Ross Coulthard says that the Five Eyes Alliance and the vital national security concerns are why we won't reveal the location of the UFO. Now, what's this UFO? I'll get to it in just a second. Coulthard says Congress should investigate how the security, quote, security and control of this craft has been funded for, quote, many decades. Let's hear what he has to say, and then we'll see what he's responding.
Talking about Roswell here?
No, something else. Hang on.
This large UAP. I've had a lot of people say to me, I should just say I know where this large UAP craft is located. And I've explained very strong reasons exist for why that particularly national security sensitive installation shouldn't be revealed. Ultimately, we're all part of a very good alliance, the Five Eyes Alliance, that has kept world peace and security since the end of World War II. The Yakuza Agreement, the Five Eyes, an alliance between my country, Australia, and the United States, England, Canada, New Zealand. It's really important. And for the good reason, we don't want to jeopardize vital national security concerns. I know exactly where it is.
So he's talking about what Louis Elizondo is talking about here. Is Lou Elizondo suggests that the UFO too big to move. So I don't know if you guys heard about this one before. I have.
Yeah, of course. We talk about it all the time. It's under the mesa.
Oh, is that?
Yeah. No, there's supposedly a base that's literally over or around a UFO that's just too big to move. Right.
Wow.
And that's been around for years. UFO too big to move is classified, and discussing it could reveal not only its location, but an actual program. I don't have permission to do that. It's likely stuff, but I want, let's look at both sides of it. Yes, this man was a disinformation dude. That's what he did.
What he did.
Chris Mellon wasn't, and he's not as direct as Lou Elizondo is at stating, because they can speak to certain things, but it's when they get interesting is when they get hypothetical. They go, hypothetically, what if there's a giant UFO that you can't move, that there's a giant base around? Hypothetically, what if it's not aliens? If it's just beings occupying the same space? What if they've always been here? What if they're just a completely different, so they're an alien form of life, but they're a form of life that has been here? Hypothetically.
Yeah.
That's what you need to be listening to, because they're allowed to be vague and hypothetical. They're allowed to dance around certain things and not say others.
You should do an episode on the Five Eyes.
Yeah.
Like deep dive on that.
Hypothetically, we should do an episode on that.
Hypothetically. If we were to, what would it look like?
Yeah, I mean, as I stated before, I have no doubt. I've never seen a UFO, never seen an alien. I might have seen one, but I'm not sure. like a
One
UFO,
day.
not an alien.
Oh,
I might have seen one.
I think I did.
Where?
North Carolina, driving
Oh.
just randomly. Green light from the sky falls.
I was. I mean, that could be a meteor.
Possibly.
Often they look green. I was driving like hell. I've told this story before. And I was in around Alpine, California at the time. So I was driving like hell down the freeway, and I saw something go across that I just it's a helicopter, or it's a drone. But I couldn't really tell. But it was black. It was small. It was spherical, like the ones we see before, and it definitely had a reflection from the sun coming off it. And if I looked up again, I would have driven right off the fucking freeway. And I'm like, "Fuck! Do I stop? You know, like,
do I risk
what the hell
death?
is that?" And no. And the other one was I was driving like hell down south on Interstate 5 right before you hit the Grapevine, and way up in the sky, I saw something just shoot straight the fuck up. But like, again, that could be just a plane. You know, I don't know. So I'm going to just say I haven't seen one. My wife's seen one, but I know they're real. I know they've been here. It goes way back. And I think our government not only knows, they have bodies, they have pieces of craft. They are reverse engineering this craft. They are keeping it secret. The reason is probably so it doesn't get in other hands, and our government just doesn't feel the need to tell us anything anymore.
We're just plebs.
We're not accountable at all to them. So that's their fucking attitude, right?
I mean, if I was in charge and I found crazy alien technology, I'm not telling nobody. Like, nah.
Well, if there's money involved.
Myself.
But if it's
I can make some money off of it.
So say you just know for a fact, but no technology. So you have proof, but no technology. So nothing you can make money off of, right? You could probably make money off a book, but you just have information that you can back up. Would you tell anybody?
Yeah,
I tell you guys.
I'd tell everybody.
Yeah,
I'd fucking blab it everywhere.
If I had a special technology, I'd keep that to myself. But if it was just like if I had evidence, like straight up evidence, and I could tell people, and people would be able to like see it and believe it, and it's believable, then yeah, I'd probably.
Well, the thing is, our government it's no doubt, our government has the best video of UFOs out there by
4K. That's what he
said. They have the best technology to catch stuff like that.
Yes,
makes sense.
And
I've seen what happens to people who talk about inventions like free energy or water engines or stuff like that, or things that could help humanity in the best way, but take the power away from the people who give the power. Right?
Yep. Oh, listen. How many of you have relatives, family, kids that have seen one? Ones you trust, not the weird uncle,
my dad,
or nephew, or niece.
Yeah,
I don't think I know it. I don't think I know anyone.
My dad.
I have family members with like ghost stories, but not UFO stories.
I have family members with UFO stories.
I've got ghost stories. Yeah, we've talked about them on this show.
Yeah.
Let's get the soups.
Soups. Which, hey, ghosts, paranormal aliens that are possibly from here, but could be a different dimension.
Well, remember, Lou
Elizondo
said there is a group
demons
that believe aliens are demons, and they stonewall the research because they think it's inviting in demons. I would disagree with that, but you never know.
Hey, man, I don't know.
Maybe one species is demons. Maybe you don't know.
All I know is I've seen Event Horizon.
Event Horizon.
I don't want to be Sam Neill in that. Okay?
You don't want to be. No, you don't. God, it's such a good movie.
Oh, it's so good.
Logan Miller has gifted 5 Nerdrotic Live memberships for $25. Thank you very much, my friend. Rich Uncle Cheapskate for $49.99 says my personal favorite missing 411 story is Tom Messick. What's everyone else's? What's the Tom Messick one? I got to look it up.
I don't know.
I can't remember the name. But my favorite one is the kid who was in it's a ski town. I can't remember if it was Europe or America or Canada, where they saw him leave a party. There's video of him walking down the street and he's just gone. They find him by a body of water, missing pants and all that shit. But there's just tons of evidence of him walking around and like going to an ATM and everything. And yeah.
That's also a Smiley killer. It's on that list of smile killer.
And the Hunter
victims.
one in the documentary, the Hunter one, where the hunter just fucking disappears, man.
The ones I think about, because it's weird to say my favorite when they're people that are missing.
Right.
The ones I think about when I think of the missing 411 are the young boy that was a Boy Scout with his dad on a Boy Scout retreat. Him and his dad were out there fishing in the morning. He was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go back to the tent to get something." It was like not even a 5-minute walk, just one little trail, and he just disappears between there and the tent.
This is the Tom Messick one. Is the old guy? Is the old guy who was just sitting on a log and hunting in New York. So this is in one of the documentaries. It's in the Hunter's documentary. That one's, it's good and mysterious. And it's another old guy who couldn't run off, who just absolutely disappeared.
The ones that get me too are the ones that are expert level hikers or hunters, or like these people that should not easily go missing, shouldn't. Yeah. It makes no sense. Those are the really interesting ones for me, because I'm like, yep. I mean, I guess maybe even experts can go missing,
which is possible. But they would know how to signal out people or leave trails, some evidence. Like I always say, I'm going to wear bright clothes when I go into a forest, because if I die, I want to be found, and a bright jacket's going to be the way. But
or maybe not. Maybe you're not dead. Maybe they can find you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what's
maybe
that?
I got hurt. Yeah. Don't go off the trail. Don't be like the Harfoots. You'll get left behind. I'm kidding.
WG for $20. The stools. WG for $20 says, my favorite 411 episode is that of a British guy who yelled boring and disappeared off that YouTube FNT show without a trace. Not sure he could make it in the wild. No search party for him either. Sadly. Sad, really. Yeah. We can lure him out. Just find a dude with tits.
Wow.
WG has gifted 5 Nerdrotic Live memberships for $25. Thanks again for the 20 and $25, WG. Diego Salazar for 5,000 Argentinian pesos. Well, here we have the Mount Uritorco, known place of UFO sightings. I told you a story about a friend of mine that saw one from her hotel. It was said that it went under the mountain. There's a portal, and an intraterrenal city known as ERK or ERKS, also known as the City of Blue Flame, where there's supposed to be a couple of cities around the world. Lots of UFOs in South America. We'll hear more about them from Argentina than we will Brazil. That's for sure. Zorbu on the Streamlabs side for $15. Earthling Crigler. I words cannot express how honored I am that you named your hatchling after me. Wait, what? He was just joking? Are you sure, Zelnek? Pretty sure, huh? Well, shit. Not cool. Guess you're our new quarter Earthling. Hashtag pucker up.
Oh my God. Is that a threat?
Is that free? Torment is over.
Mr. Nut Smash for $10. There's a very interesting map that overlays the missing 411 with a map of the known underground caverns, which we just saw. In the U.S., they overlap exactly. Might be underground military or alien base. Well, I mean, if there's aliens here, they're underground and in the ocean.
Bring it closer to the camera, Garrett.
I gotta give it. It goes out of focus if I do that.
Sorry.
There you go. Do I need to give this to Adam now?
Let's go full screen for a second.
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
I got my badge. I was probed and all I got was this badge.
That's what Zorbu leaves every time he probes
My ass
you.
really hurts, and all I got was this badge.
Yeah.
It's a leather though. It's a leather
Yeah.
badge.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Nice.
Going back to that super chat though, like if there are military government stuff that's linked to this and they're in these underground caves and there allegedly is, you know, 3-letter agencies that know all this, like that would be wild for the government. And then who knows, it could be true, it might be false, but I also could see aliens hiding out in something like that too. Or maybe they're portals, who knows?
I feel like interdimensional goblins is like the most likely scenario.
I think I'd say the best video footage on Skinwalker Ranch is that light flying right into the mesa and then out the other side.
And through it, yeah.
And I think that they just don't interact in our reality. Like we can see them, but they can fly through solid objects, water, no change of speed whatsoever.
Yeah, they're just on a different plane
Yep.
of existence.
Curtis,
And if you think about that, I just want to add, I've been talking about time a lot. Y-Files did a time slip video.
Yep.
And Nisha and I have been discussing, if you're on a higher dimension, time exists in all past, present, future. It's all one moment in higher dimensions. So the fact that even they're getting a blip of light, if this is a higher dimension creature or being, intelligence, whatever, I mean, we're lucky to even get a blip, that light. You know, it's probably just like a slight bit of exhaust, or you know, a flick of a cigarette, or you know, just like
just
not even not even the main ship. You know, it's more of like a reflection off of their hubcap or something along those lines. You know, the dimensional being that they are, I think.
it's a good thought.
Yeah.
Josh Kelsey has dropped 20 and walks away because that's what Josh does. That's what he does.
He's a G.
He's a G. Curtis Hart for $4.99. Hail. I'm going to have to miss today. I'm going to watch Lord of the Rings 2 Towers Extended Edition in theaters. That's a really good excuse.
Cool.
I will sign off on your absentee list. There you go. Approved. Logan Miller, a traveler, says, congrats again, Adam. Love this show. Modern metal in the Egypt vases. Snake Bros just had a damn good live stream. I saw that. By the way, my notebook is Snake Bros. I'm going to go watch it later.
Modern metal
Found in the vases. Yes, modern metal.
Modern develop the technology
like alloy, like
alloy.
A newer alloy
right.
was found.
Not
in
like
one of the vases?
not like an object from now.
Like one of the vases,
like metal that would
type that we make now.
Metal that they did not make then, supposedly according to history. But that's actually been around for a long time. Like, they know kind of when they started, you know, using iron, but like iron predates, you know, smelting it and all whatever the shit they do. They've taken it from meteors, but there's also been evidence that it's much older, and yeah. Not surprised. Cool. I can't wait to watch it.
One of those secrets.
Ale the Snake Bros. Len McSlack, welcome to Travelers. And Clyde Dashing, welcome to the Travelers. JB says, I want to believe. I do too. Rewatching the X-Files, it's fucking awesome.
Ooh, I got to do that.
Just had the Firestarter episode with I'm blanking his name. He was in The Impossible Astronaut with his dad. He plays. He's in, oh God, brain is just farting right now. Supernatural. He's in Supernatural. He plays
the TV show,
the devil, right?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know his name, but I know what you're saying.
But he was in that episode as a youngster. The chat will help me with this one.
Okay, Mark Shepard.
Yeah,
that's chat, not me.
Mark
Shepard. Just reading chat.
Thank you, chat.
Piddly Widdly.
Thank you, chat. And we're coming up. The next episode is the Brad Dourif episode. And he had kind of stopped acting for a while. You know, he did One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and then he was also in Exorcist 3, but then he was off selling insurance for a while because he couldn't get any
Really?
work. Yeah. And the X-Files kind of brought him.
Dourif?
Yeah, and the X-Files kind of brought him back. I think he was still doing
Aliens?
jobs here and there, but he needed to take on another job, right? And then
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with
rest
that.
is history.
Nothing
Legend.
wrong
Legend. Yeah, X-Files awesome. Fully problematic for $10. Almost 555,000 people went missing in the U.S. in 2022. That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
Holy.
Is that real?
Over 500,000?
That's
About
a lot.
1.7 times my home city, Orlando's population. Some disappeared willingly, but all? No. Don't go into the woods alone or unarmed. A lot of people go missing.
So kidnaps or people that just get old people that get lost.
And it's not counting like who they find
Kidnaps.
and stuff. But
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
a lot of people every year go missing and never are found. Like a lot. We did a midwife for the birth of our son. Price $2,000 in South Carolina. Best friend experience. There you go. Says Josh
Not bad.
Contreras.
Nice.
Shaky owns for $9.99. I see wild turkeys all the time. They walk through my job parking lot in the mornings. They got feathers that hang off their chests like decorations. It's cool. Yeah, I remember seeing wild turkeys in Sacramento when I was at Folsom. They were walking around all the time.
Yeah, when I was in Jersey with Tim, the original Tim Cast IRL building, there was wild turkeys all over that neighborhood, constantly, everywhere.
It was in Jersey?
In Jersey, yeah. Yeah. South Jersey.
Just
right outside
Jersey.
Philly.
Ugh.
I'm not an East Coast guy. I'm not an East Coast guy. Sorry, East Coast. I'm not.
I don't like Jersey either.
I don't like
just gonna make that clear.
much of the East Coast at all. So
I just want everyone from Jersey to know I don't like it.
the
country, Jersey sucks.
Country is fine. The cities I want nothing to do with. So there you go.
Agreed.
Kick the ladder for $2. Thank you for the alien emoji for $2. Zorbu on the Streamlabs side for $10. One last thing tonight, just a little pet peeve, but I'd like to correct you, hairless apes, on one thing. Technically, the term extraterrestrials, yeah, that just means more humans. Think it through, people, and you're welcome. Yes, he's right there. He's right. Oh my God, you have that so big right now.
It was a miss.
It says dick.
I made it like 111 size font.
God,
it's so big.
What are you trying to say?
He's not there yet.
You just called me a dick. Hi King Fanor, Alpha Chat of Middle Earth. What's up, brother? For $5. Howdy, folks. Hope everything is doing well. It's all well. It's all doing well.
Oh yeah.
Mocking the shit out of Lord of the Rings. I might have some other stuff in the work. Yeah, the events of the last week, which were funny. Kind of backfired. Humorous. Dick Dickerson for $9.99. I've been listening and reading Dave's stuff for a long time. Most of the missing are either special needs or highly intelligent men of German heritage. Yes, that is true.
Interesting.
That is true. That is another commonality. The Dead Man for $2 says, great topic tonight. Cheers. Yeah, it's one of my faves. Dave does great work. Great work. Diego Salazar says, well, what are your plans for October 2028? How about a live FF in Idaho around that time? How about a meetup? A heavily armed meetup? Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Go to Grangeville or whatever and do a meetup.
Nobody goes off alone. All right.
Yeah. Buddy system.
Yeah.
Always.
We're going to disappear. We're going to disappear together.
And Blazin 64 for 2 New Zealand pesos. Sounds like Arden Lane speed. What is Adrenaline speed? Arden Lane, Jesus. Adrenaline speed. Human limiters off. Yeah, it probably. Oh, you mean the guy taking off? Yeah, he probably got the shit scared out of him.
Oh my God,
Arden Lane.
I'm gonna put this at the level of Orangiganten.
That's right up there with Orangiganten. Or that time I tried to, I saw pterodactyl and I'm like, what? Oh, it's pterodactyl. Pterodactyl. John Cannon for 10 British pounds. The Phoenicians would trade with the British for our tin reserves. Welsh and Cornish tin has been found in Egypt, Iraq, Syria. We also have 2 Phoenician shipwrecks in our maritime museum. Yeah, there was a mother civilization. It fell. Time went on. There was a lot of leftover. There were fragments of it, and fragments of people who tried to lift up civilization again and keep its memory alive, and it just got forgotten over the course of
amnesia.
time. Fell into legend.
And metal was so precious that because it was so expensive to actually mine it, that they would melt it and repurpose.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened to
recycling.
most stuff. Yeah, it was just so expensive to actually get metal.
Spurian, welcome to the Travelers. We appreciate you. Toxic Man Flu for $20. Adam, as a father of 5 grown kids and a grandpa 5 times over, I've made mistakes, but I've never failed to love them and raise them to think that for themselves. You and Quarter Black are the next generation. Be based as fuck dads. RLP sucks. Agreed.
Thank you.
Thanks, Toxic.
Yeah, the fact that, I mean, not that he mentioned me because he didn't, but the fact that my kids are grown up, I'm just kidding.
We're the next generation. You're the previous.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No,
you're just
uh,
you're the previous. I don't have time for it, but
I am the
The mother
ancestor. Just
civilization.
the ancestor.
okay, yeah,
I'm
and
the
part of the
eldest.
mother civilization.
It's not eldest,
Yeah.
it's oldest. Yeah, having a couple of base kids, and I didn't push them in that direction at all. They were able to decide for themselves. All out of bubblegum for $5, not Shasta, but witnessed 3 large red objects floating over Grants Pass, Oregon in 2013, the same night my brother passed away. Ooh,
Oh my gosh.
that was your bro. I have photos. Sorry about your brother, by the way. I have photos from Kingman, Green Goblin Gary. Really? We were supposed to not talk about that, Jackson Cagle. Okay, those photos were supposed to remain private. Okay. Johnny D for $2.79. Please do an episode about stairs in the woods.
That's a good creepypasta.
That's a
Wait, what
creepypasta.
is?
Stairs in the Woods. It's a
Stairs in the
creepypasta.
Wood, leading nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's one of those
So-
like, I'm a forest ranger and I have stories.
My kid was, I'm sure your kids were.
It's a good one.
My kids were into creepypasta, like especially
My
Logan. But he
kids-
got a
I'm
little
into
older.
Creepypastas.
Of course you are. But he got a little older, and then I'm like, I got to turn you on to this channel. This was recently. I thought he knew, and I'm like, called the Y-Files.
Yeah.
Go to the Y-Files, kiddo. He's been nonstop watching the Y-Files.
Heck yeah. The older or younger?
Once you start,
Logan, the younger.
it's hard to stop.
It's hard to stop. Jose
Yeah.
Taco for $1 on the Streamlabs side. I'm taking archaeology classes. Read this book today. Today's archaeology once largely the preserve and the product of white upper class Europeans and North American males has changed. Many are now women of all nationalities. What the fuck? There's more also. Yes. I mean, good for you for taking a class, but right now, I think at this point, it's not even close to dangerous to say. It's dangerous to put your kids in a university at this point. To just think, oh, well, they're an accredited school. They've been around for a while. Let's just pay the tuition and send our kids there. I told the story last week. My niece goes to San Diego State, finds out there's co-ed dorms and co-ed bathrooms. She fucking bailed. Parents didn't know about it.
You not know?
Yeah.
That would be like number one question. Like, where is my kid gonna sleep at night? And will she be okay?
What spaces is she sharing? And no.
Yeah. So much better off going to a
stuff
small.
at college. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Well, and like even on top of that, it's like besides the social aspect of it, just depending on the education you get, like what are you going to do with an English degree? What are you going to do with
social studies?
Yeah. So just
Women's
be careful
studies.
what you choose to study there, unless you're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, or engineer.
In many cases, especially, in many cases, going off to college is just putting off getting into life. I think that there's still many things that require training that people should go to school for: doctors, engineers, science, of course, all that stuff. But yeah, the theoretical, the the ethereal, the studies. Fuck all that shit. It's a waste of time.
I do like the idea though, Jose Ataka going out there, taking the classes that they're putting out, getting the degree that they want, and then still getting out there and like using his brain to investigate it, and then be like, "Look, I did it all the way that you guys wanted."
Better man than me. The minute I read that in that
results.
book, I would fucking toss it and walk out.
I like it. You're like a spy on the inside. It's great.
The Nelson twin versus the OI on the Streamlabs side for $1. I have a video shot at night, though I'm not saying it was a UFO, but a drone cannot turn the clouds a different shade of color going through them. Have to be a pretty fucking. It would have to be a lot of drones.
It had to be a big one, but they could if it was a big drone.
Toxic Man flew for $2. Gary, I am only a year older than you, Grandpa.
Did you see the UFO drone that
Really?
China put out?
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a UFO and it's a
like
drone.
the size of a car. It's
Yeah.
just like a UFO, but it's a drone.
It's got the giant drone like propellers in the middle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's just bigger, extra large.
It's a
That's
giant drone.
the Raven and the Writing Desk. Hey, what's up? This summer I met a man who had an encounter with a Wendigo. Is the Wendigo a topic you'd cover? Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, that'd be cryptid. So
Cryptids. Should do another one of those soon.
yeah, we
Should.
need to do that.
Yeah.
Spooky season.
Thank you, my lady.
It's here.
It's true.
Did you like Beetlejuice, Raven? Did you like Beetlejuice? I thought it was all right. Michael Keaton was fucking great.
Oh, is it out?
It's
I
out.
haven't seen it.
It's like it's worth going. Like it.
Well, Grace Randolph said it sucked, so I'm like, obviously,
Yeah, it's got
there's some hope
problems.
there.
It's kind of a mess, but it's still worth going.
Michael
Like,
Keaton
it's,
is the only reason to go.
yeah,
watch it.
all the like everything involving him and the underworld or whatever they call it is
Yeah.
fucking is
The
really
afterlife.
good. Is really good. The Afterlife.
I love
Monica
updated
Bellucci
effects.
doesn't do anything in it, but she looks great. She looks
Yes.
fucking great. So yeah,
Just a little messy. Just a little
just
messy.
yeah. I mean, it's just Lydia's kind of the worst thing in it, but
Unfortunate.
Diego Salazar for 1,000 Argentinian pesos. Okay, so I'm going to try to get this. Intra-terrenal city. That it's like underground, but not quite there. It's kind of off in another dimension. Same concept as hell. Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay.
Diego's smart. I'm not. Basil 578 as a traveler says back home from business trip. On the way back, I found a real treasure, a remastered copy of Song of the South, physical media, fortune and glory. Hell yeah.
Nice.
I actually found on eBay reels, like film reels of the Song of the South. I think they were asking $37,000. So no, but
Oh wow.
the actual like film
Wow.
reels that were in the theater.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
cool though.
Yeah, but 37 grand on
That
eBay.
movie gets a bad rap and it's trash. It's trash and it gets a bad rap because it's a good movie.
I have a price limit on eBay for one. I mean, I'm not, dude, I'm not spending $37,000 on fucking anything,
Oh.
but hell no. Not even a car. That's not even a new car now. That's like a used car, like a
Yeah.
decent used car. But it was cool to see. I have the storybook and the soundtrack from when I was a kid.
Yeah, I
Because
think
we
my
used to
mom has
listen
that too.
Dude, Zippity Doodah was like
Yeah.
the Disney song.
Mhm.
Okay. Juan Castle for $4.99. Congrats, Craig's family. Get to work on number 2 immediately while the oven is hot. I'm on board with a heavily armed meetup. X-Ray Girl will lead.
Lead what?
I hope she shoots better than she drives. That's all I'm saying.
I was actually talking about my car, and every person in my family, all the males, have gotten my cars into accidents. I've never gotten them to accidents.
Well,
So it's the males in my family. It's the male gene, right?
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Sure.
that's what it is.
Sure.
But anyhow,
Anywho, what are we going to do next week?
I really want to talk about what we were going to maybe talk about this week
Oh,
because it
Well,
needs research.
We all need to
need
be on
research.
board with it. We
Yeah.
all
I'm
need to be
down.
on board. Okay.
You
so
have to start early.
So last week it was a giant breakthrough in gravity manipulation, and it's pretty deep.
It's dense.
I could not explain it, right? And I'm not the smartest, I'm not dumb, but I'm not I'm not on that level, right? This goes into like the quantum realm and quarks and gravity manipulation.
What is it? Not they don't use relativity in physics for it, so it's in unrelativity, non-relativity. Sorry, I'm not
like
a physics.
Unbirthday.
They changed the weight. They actually do it though.
Yeah, there's a video.
It's been done. It's freaking cool. I couldn't explain it.
What I could do is I can try to understand the physics of it a little bit,
sure.
just to explain to layman terms, and then you guys could take care of the rest.
Layman.
Yeah, I'll read it multiple times. There's a couple interviews that the doctor.
I'll see if I can get my head around
his name right. Let me see his name.
Yeah,
but
I'm down to talk about it for sure.
Eventually, when we get done with because I should be done with the Lou Elizondo book in a couple weeks. I have to kind of work on my own book right now.
Dr. Brandenburg.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
direct gravity modification by
crazy.
EM fields. That's the theory.
Hoverboards.
Yeah. Though.
Come on, man.
Manipulation of gravity. Now, I just have to ask. New tech or tech reveal?
Tech reveal.
Refinding of tech. Who knows?
Most tech is tech
another
reveal.
way of putting it, actually. Yeah.
Most tech is tech reveal. I mean, look at it, like if you go down and look for the origins of the internet, it's there is no one person who invented it, right? It was multiple things happening at very initially it started in late 50s, early 60s, and then another guy in the UK, and then another group in the US and the US Navy. So it's tech reveal. That is my guess.
Cool.
Yeah,
dude.
It's
Antikythera mechanism. They invented gears and clocks in the 1700s, right? 1700s. I'm just guessing. It could be earlier, but
I think a little earlier because the clock in Prague is like
1600s
years. So yeah,
1500s, but not like
2000
30 BC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2,000 years old, right?
Oh, it's right. Al Gore invented the internet. You're right.
Actually, this is probably the best missing 411 case that we've out there. Andrew Matthews, 50 British pounds, biggest 411 is Tolkien and ROP.
Yep.
What happened to it? No sign of it.
No sign of it.
Also, the Winds of Winter. Nobody knows.
Yes.
It's a mystery.
Knows.
Yep.
Oh, you're right. Al Gore plus Frank Gore equals Chris Gore. Way to go, Nicholas.
Oh, happy birthday month, Frank Gore.
Hey,
happy
before we
month.
start clicking out of here, I want to say go subscribe to Luke Caverns. He's
yeah.
almost at 50K.
50K. His best performing video.
He's doing work. All right?
He is. Go watch his videos.
Amazing
Go
work.
subscribe. Great dude. Been on the show. Friend of the show. Luke Caverns.
Yep.
Luke Caverns. Subscribe. Thanks, everyone. We're going to wrap it up for tonight on Rumble. Watching too much Rings of Power, sorry. And,
rolling your R's too
Rings of Power.
And we'll be back next week. I'll be back on Rumble tomorrow. Probably early because I have a bunch of meetings. I have a bunch of meetings, man.
Good to know.
Work to do.
Well, I'm supposed to talk to the publisher tomorrow at 9 after having read the manuscript, which I have not done. So I'm going to see if they'll. I'm going to read a little bit of it, but I think they wanted me to read the whole thing. It's like I've been busy.
Gary needs an extension.
I need an extension
on his homework,
and I got another meeting after that. So, yeah,
exciting.
That one's not exciting.
Oh,
but I hate fucking business meetings, dude. I despise them all. I think the reason I say no to a lot of stuff, Adam, is because I just don't want to deal with it.
Does it have a meeting involved?
Does it have a meeting involved? Do I have to check in? Nah, not interested.
I hate it.
I like my free time.
I believe it.
I like it. Yeah.
I understand that now more than ever.
Mm-hmm. What do you got coming up, Adam?
Well, I'm starting my show up. Starting my show up again. I'm going to go to sleep as soon as possible. Although I went and helped her do something real quick, and I think as soon as I'm done here, I'm gonna take over. And if he's awake, I'm gonna be awake for a while until he eventually goes to sleep. But I'm starting my daily show back up, Base Staff Monday tomorrow, and then doing my stuff. Now that I'm back, I'm gonna be doing a lot of interviews. I'm gonna reach out to a bunch of people and try to get some more interviews going on. I just love interviewing people, doing some deep dives, doing some other stuff. I got another channel in the works, which is a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm just back to the grind. Got to get it going. Got a son.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
How about you, Garrett?
I have another channel, Nega Garrett, N-E-G-A Garrett on YouTube. I have a video up right now talking to nerds about pop culture and such. I'm going to be doing a lot more IRL stuff, like Adam just said, interviews and all kinds of things, but in real life, physically, with other people. Oh my gosh, it's going to be crazy. But you can go subscribe to that. And Normal World, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I think we're not doing a show every day this week because there's a debate and other stuff going on. But we're usually doing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah. They were like, oh, we're not doing a show on Tuesday because there's a debate. I was like, what? I don't follow. Anyways, go follow that stuff because we have a lot of fun over there. Dave Landau, good dude, good people. Thank you.
Excellent.
It's a great show.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. What do you got coming up, X-Ray Girl?
I think I'm probably going to play Space Marines tomorrow after finishing the Nooner, and then
Space Marines.
I know I just need to play it.
So good.
Got some of those Xenos I could kill.
It's been kind of nice to have that instead of playing things like Dustborn, Outlaws, and I was just going to call it Star Trek. I don't even remember the show. Star Wars.
I wish there was a good Star Trek game, like a new one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then
like a Bridge Commander. So cool.
Yeah. Make sure you sub to, if you have Instagram, go to Nerdrotic's Instagram. Swag Sunday. There's some really good cookies that are going to be part of the giveaway. So you don't want to miss out.
Evie and me.
Oh, yes.
Those are it.
Oh, I'm so jelly.
That's a big cookie.
Yeah, and they're like, they have stuff inside it too.
Chocolate chip. Yeah, they're big.
Dang.
Yeah, they're
240 calories right there. That's a whole meal.
Mm-hmm. So they're being given away this Sunday.
Like
so, and you have time. You have time.
Oh, wait.
What?
Zoom in again.
Do they ship overseas? Ooh.
Oh, is that the silver, like the black and white?
That is awesome.
It's everything.
It's everything. I don't know if they ship overseas, but Adam, next time I see you, I'll make sure. Well,
the complete edition. Someone went shopping.
Okay. I got my hiking shoes.
What'd you go with, Morels?
Yeah, Andreas told me to get these. So
break them in.
Yeah,
I was out today.
Actually,
today doing
even just wearing them in the office will help break them in.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear them everywhere this whole month.
They should be on right now.
Well,
you're like, I'm not wearing underwear.
I don't have any clothes on.
Yeah, it would look funny.
He's Donald
just
Duck.
The boots.
Like funny.
A t-shirt and boots.
Weird.
I'm breaking them in. But they're cool.
Go get your mail like that.
I'm ready. I'm getting ready for Peru. Only a month away, dude.
It's not as far away as the UK. It should be like a little bit of a shorter flight, but then there's getting on all the
16 hours of travel time.
Hey, at least you don't have half a country to travel across extra on top of that.
Right? So
yeah.
It's like the opposite end of the earth for me.
Yeah. It is like, yeah.
UK, the UK is like 9 hours, but it's a straight flight.
Yeah.
I'd do it again.
We'll be back next year.
Yeah.
We will be back next year, and we'll probably
noted.
I'm gonna stay longer. I'm gonna probably stay for like
looking at you, Garrett. You guys gotta come check out some
I'm
Viking
planning
sites.
This time. Planning to go up there this time.
We'll make some Forbidden Frontier videos.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All right. I got a video out. I might work on another one. We got to see how things play out. We'll just say that. We'll see how this nonsense that's going on right now. Theory's kind of handling it.
Yeah.
He's handling it well. I don't care. This is it's funny when it gets my kid's attention and he's like, "You okay, Dad?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." It's like, well, I think it's good to point out that they say we're the evil ones, but they're the ones threatening the YouTube CEO with violence.
That was insane.
They're the ones who want us just gone. And none of us have ever said, "Hey, I want Star Wars Explained gone." I don't. I want them on. I want them making money. I want all their videos to be green, and I want them to be free to say what they want. I'm just going to say what I want to. That's what fandom is, right? You have your opinions. I have mine. They might disagree, but so what? When it's when you're just trying to, these are movie and TV opinions, by the way. And this is a slippery slope that we're already on. And it's getting down to us who just talk about pop culture. So I think that is something worth talking about. And you know, these are channels I've never interacted with. These are people I've never fucking interacted with or never will, or never watch. I don't need to be explained Star Wars by somebody who wasn't alive when I was. Okay. So, I don't need it, but that's great. I like Men of the West. Like he does lore videos. I know most of it and I still enjoy the fuck out of it. Cause for one, Yoiston's a really cool dude. It's a great channel. So I get why people like it, but, we don't get in their way at all, like ever. Ever. But when they start, like, I am never against counterpunching. I usually don't like to get into drama with other channels. Channels can say what they fucking want. I don't give a shit. But unless there's a point to be made. And I think there's a great point to be made that has nothing to do with these channels. I think that's so that's what I'm thinking about.
Or just culture or an entertainment, like it's indicative of society as a whole, right? This, if your opinion isn't my opinion, you need to be removed from society kind of vibe. Like that's the energy that they're putting off, and they apply it on every single aspect of reality for them, and it's a disease, that energy, that attitude that they have.
Yep.
It's very combative too.
Yeah.
It's very weak.
It's very, very weak.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh well.
But there's a great opportunity to
make fun of them.
Like a teachable moment.
Absolutely.
As they would say, a teachable moment. I'm gonna
put a bubble in your mouth.
I'm gonna throw up the mirror.
Put a bubble in your mouth. That freaking woman.
Bitch. Yeah. Other people out there have opinions. Yeah. It's okay.
Did you have a thought of your own?
See?
Oh, so cute.
We'll see you next time, everybody. Thanks. Great show, guys. And thanks, Dave Polides, for doing all that great work.
Yeah.
Go subscribe to his channel. And it's
Absolutely.
informative. It is creepy, but I think he is actually doing something good by bringing attention to this stuff.
Yeah.
So well done, sir. Well done. Stay based. And have a good night, everybody.
Nerdrotic.com.
Welcome, travelers, to the fringes of reality, where the strange and mysterious meet, and the thin veil between fact and fiction is torn. Welcome to the Forbidden Frontier.